This is International Radio Serbia. As usual, we begin our broadcast with the news. Serbian Minister of Foreign Affairs Ivica Dačić has stated in Madrid at the meeting of the UN Security Council's Committee for Counterterrorism that Serbia is committed to responding to the contemporary security challenges, among which the battle against terrorism and all kinds of extremism is a priority. As one of the 104 signatories of the Security Council Resolution 2178, Serbia supports its full implementation, Dačić stressed. We are ready in cooperation with the partners around the world to help in curbing the terrorist threat and circulation of terrorist fighters on the national, regional, European and global scale, concluded Dačić. Foreign Minister Ivica Dačić had separate meetings in Madrid with the Spanish and Malian heads of diplomacy, who underlined that those two countries would not change their stance on not recognizing the unilaterally proclaimed independence of Kosovo and Metohija and would not support the admission of the southern Serbian province to UNESCO. After the talks with his Spanish colleague, José Manuel García Margallo, Dačić said that Spain was a friendly country with full understanding for the issues of territorial integrity and secessionism. Spain and Serbia are preparing together for the marking of the 100th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries next year, Dačić pointed out. The Day of Remembrance of the Sufferings and Persecution of Serbs will be marked on August 4th and 5th, the latter date to be proclaimed a day of mourning in the territories of Serbia and the Republic of Srpska, said Minister of Labor, Employment, Combat and Social Issues Aleksandar Vulin. At the joint initiative of the governments of Serbia and the Republic of Srpska, we have decided to proclaim August 5th a day of remembrance, and today's session of the Organizational Committee, we have decided how to mark that day, said Vulin, adding that besides two governments, the Serbian Orthodox Church and all the national institutions will be taking part in the ceremony. More after the news. The Republic of Srpska President Milorad Dodik says that the referendum on the Bosnia-Herzegovina Court and Prosecution Office will be held in the Republic of Srpska, adding that Srpska will fight against the legal violence of the High Representative and for the affirmation of the Dayton Accord, reports FINA. Dodik said that he was not afraid of political traitors acting upon the instructions of the international community and disseminating fear of referendum. The referendum is important. If we do not hold it, the Republic of Srpska will become an empty tourist attraction in a year or two, said Dodik. After talks with Dodik, Russian ambassador to Bosnia-Herzegovina, Peter Ivanco, said that Russia would continue supporting the Republic of Srpska in the decisions within the principles stipulated by the Dayton Accord. A National Museum exhibition of its collection of medieval rings has been staged at the Belgrade airport. The exhibition testifies to the refined taste and feeling for Byzantine aesthetics, which searched for and found hidden divine beauty in external forms. Director of the Belgrade National Museum, Bojana Borić-Brešković, said that the exhibits represented supreme works of art. The exhibits also include the rings of Prince Radoslav and of Teodora, Emperor Dušan's mother. The Serbian water polo selection was victorious at the start of the World Championship in the Russian city of Kazan. As in the first round of the Group D, they defeated a team of Montenegro with 11-8. With such result, the selection of coach Dejan Savic has made a big step towards qualification for the quarterfinals. As the world champion title defenders, the Serbian team will play its next match on Wednesday against Japan. Also, our national team is the first one, besides the host selection of Brazil, to have secured its participation in the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro next year. And with this, we end the news for today. This is the International Radio of Serbia. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. This is the International Radio of Serbia. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. This is the International Radio of Serbia. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
Serbian Minister of Foreign Affairs Ivica Dačić took part in the meeting on the high level of the UN Security Council's Committee for Battle Against Terrorism and Stopping the Circulation of Foreign Fighters, as he said that Serbia was committed to responding to the contemporary security threats, among which the battle against terrorism and all forms of extremism and radicalism is a priority goal. The report of Petar Popović. As one of the 104 signatories of the Security Council Resolution 2178, Serbia is strongly in support of its full implementation, pointed Dačić. According to him, Serbia is aware that the complex nature of the phenomenon of terrorism of all kinds of extremism demands a coordinated action on the wider international scope. Our country is located in a specific environment where there are strong centers that promote the aggressive ideology of the Islamic State organization, as well as the recruitment and sending of foreign terrorist fighters to the crisis areas. The territory of the southern Serbian province of Kosovo is a particular problem where the appearance of the foreign terrorist fighters is emphasized, Dačić stressed. He has said that in line with its obligations in the process of European integration, Serbia has taken numerous measures in the strategic, political, legislative, institutional and operative domains. Notable progress has been achieved by adopting several national strategic documents, such as the Strategy of Risk Assessment, thus defining the main goals of the national policy in the preventing and curbing terrorism, said the Serbian minister. He has underlined that stronger operative measures are underway, aiming to reinforce the security of the borders and to impede the entrance or passing of the foreign terrorist fighters throughout Serbia. In the capacity of the chair of the OSCE, Dačić has stated that Serbia is laying emphasis on the implementation of the OSCE Declaration on the Battle Against Foreign Terrorist Fighters, which was adopted last year. Serbia will be honored to host the representatives of the Security Council's Committee for the Battle Against Terrorism, Dačić said, while assessing it will be an excellent opportunity for the joint analysis of the national measures in that domain. In cooperation with the partners from around the world, Serbia is ready to assist in curbing the terrorist threats and appearance of foreign terrorist fighters on the national, regional, European and global scale, concluded Dačić.
A day of remembrance of the suffering and persecution of Serbs will be marked with a large gathering at Sremska Rača on August 4th and a series of appropriate events on August 5th, which will be declared a day of mourning in the territories of Serbia and the Republic of Srpska. The organizational committee, chaired by Minister for Labor, Employment, Veteran and Social Affairs, Aleksandar Vulin, discussed the activities concerning the organization of the event at its first session. Suzana Mitić has more. At the joint initiative of the governments of Serbia and the Republic of Srpska, it was decided for August 5th to be a day of remembrance of all the exiled and killed Serbs, reminds Minister Aleksandar Vulin, president of the organizational committee. It will be marked with a large gathering on August 4th at Sremska Rača in the municipality of Sremska Mitrovica and a series of appropriate events on August 5th, which will be declared a day of mourning in the territories of Serbia and the Republic of Srpska. The action involves both governments, Serbian Orthodox Church and all national institutions, Vulin said after the meeting of the organizational committee. Members of the committee are Serbian Justice Minister Nikola Selaković, Defense Minister Bratislav Gašić, Interior Minister Nebojša Stefanović, Minister of Culture and Information Ivan Tasovac, Minister of Education, Science and Technological Development Srđan Verbić, and Advisor of the Prime Minister Dragan Matanović. August 4th will mark 20 years since the Croatian Operation Storm. President of the Coalition of Refugee Associations in Serbia, Miodrag Linta, told our radio that he feels sad on the eve of the anniversary, especially because 2 decades since the end of civil war, Croatia behaves as if it participated in a just war, as if the Croats fought the liberation war and were the victims, and that the Serbs were villains and aggressors. However, it is a well-known fact that the Croats expelled over 200,000 and killed more than 2,000 Serbs. A contract has been signed today between the UN Development Programme and the Water Management Institute Jaroslav Černi, who will enable the making of the study for the improved flood protection in the watershed of the Kolubara River. The goal of the study is to identify various measures that need to be taken in order to reduce the risks of floods and potential damage to infrastructure, but also how to develop the system of protection in the endangered areas in the watershed of the Kolubara. Director of the Government's Office for Renovation of Flooded Areas, Marko Blagojevic, has underlined that this project is the most important of all steps that are made for the purpose of improving the prevention of elementary disasters. Jelica Rapušković has more. The making of the study is part of the project of improving the readiness to respond in the emergency situations financed by the Japanese government and worth $3.6 million. That donation, according to Marko Blagojevic, ranks that country among the biggest bilateral donors after the floods, which again confirms that Japan is one of the key partners of Serbia. He explains that the making of the study is very important because some 60% of the total damage in last year's floods was made in the Kolubara region. This document ought to enhance the protection from floods and landslides, says Blagojevic, adding that the last analysis in the Kolubara basin was done in 1970s, so Serbia must seriously deal with the problem of possible floods. He also noted that the state has done a lot in that regard, but by the end of 2015, another 23 dams will be built for torrential flooding, as opposed to 19 such dams in the past 2 decades. Together with the implementation of other projects in the field to be started this year worth $70 million, we are engaging in the prevention of the damage for the first time after many years, instead of mitigating the damage that had been already inflicted, stated Blagojevic. He says that the first systemic law is in the making relating to the risk management in cases of natural disasters, which should be subjected to the public debate in August and in the parliamentary procedure during the fall session. Japanese Ambassador Yuichi Takahara has pointed that his country will keep helping Serbia and that elementary catastrophes require long-term solutions. According to him, we need a lower degree of risk and higher degree of safety. Permanent coordinator of the UN Development Programme, Irena Vojačkova-Solorano, has noted it is very important to have the study because it best shows the situation and proposes the solutions for the prevention. Besides the UN and the Jaroslav Černi Institute from Belgrade, also helping in the preparation of the study will be the Ministry of Construction, Traffic and Infrastructure, the mining base in Kolubara, and the Republican Hydrometeorological Institute. Coming up next is another edition of our regular feature, Music Heritage, presented by Jermaine Filipovic. Today's Music Heritage is dedicated to the orchestra of the Academic Culture and Art Association, Branko Krsmanović of Belgrade. We will begin our story by listening to melodies from Vranje from the album Silk Thread, the orchestra led by artistic director Dušan Šaponja, recorded for Radio Television Belgrade in 1979. The ensemble of folk dances of the Academic Culture and Art Association, Branko Krsmanović, was founded in Belgrade in 1945 as part of cultural and artistic activities of Belgrade University students. The Big Folk Music Orchestra was established in 1952 under the leadership of the violinist Vlastimir Jelić. An independent folk music section was formed in 1957. Since then, this orchestra and the vocal soloist have won a number of awards at numerous competitions in the country and abroad, the most valuable being the gold medal won at the World Youth and Student Festival held in Moscow in 1957. We continue our feature, Music Heritage, with another number from this album. It is a song entitled "O Maiden, My Sweetheart," performed by Duško Ljubičić and the orchestra Branko Krsmanović. Apart from great achievements in spreading our culture and art throughout the globe, the orchestra has grown to be a unique group that successfully accomplishes another significant task. It has influenced a large number of young people who, on leaving the association, occupy important positions in all spheres of life. Thus, the orchestra includes members who are today university professors, professional musicians, physicians, mathematicians, ministers in the Serbian government, engineers and translators, including your today's presenter, who had the privilege to perform as a violinist with this remarkable orchestra. We shall wind up today's edition of Music Heritage with a medley of folk tunes.
At the end of today's program, we would like to thank our friends and listeners of the International Radio Serbia who started a petition for the survival of our house at the address www.ipetitions.com. Serbia needs international radio. The fate of our radio is still uncertain because the Serbian government has not decided whether to finance the existence of the National World Service. Dear friends, you have listened to the English service of the International Radio Service broadcast, into which you can tune on 6,100 kHz in Europe or 6,190 kHz in the United States. We would like to thank you for your attention and for tuning in, but we will be glad to receive your critics, objections and suggestions, for which you can contact us through our email address radiou@sbb.rs or on our regular mail Hilandarska 2, 11,000 Belgrade, Serbia. Also, you can visit our website www.glasserbia.org.